Welcome everybody to our webinar, Think Big, Start Small, Scale Fast, a practical guide to AI innovation funnel. I will be your host for today. My name is Dumitru Pascu and I am CTO at Mindit.io. During the last year and a half since the AI got the attention due to the Gen AI hype, we have discussed to a lot of customers that want to start using AI, and I can assure you that fear of missing out is a thing. However, they don't know how and where to start. There's the fear of unknown, of unforeseeable costs, and most important, the fact that there is no clear return on investments. All these things are contradictory for decision making. So we have developed a productized service that we call AI Innovation Funnel, which is a structured framework that help our customers to put order in their ideas and to prepare and to start real AI adoption. Today, I present you Adriana Nistor, our lead AI expert. Being the main contributor for this framework, she will be the one that presents this for the next 30 minutes. And stay tuned, because at the end we will have a short session of questions and also a small surprise. Adriana, you have the stage. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dumi, for introducing myself. And I want to take a moment to thank to all our participants for offering us their time for today's session. Let me walk you through the agenda for today. So we are going to start by discussing scenarios where AI innovation funnel provides its most value. Whether you are just at the beginning of your AI strategy development, or if you are already in the middle of it, like you have run a couple of experiments, we are going to provide you more clarity during this session on what we consider to be good practice in terms of developing an AI strategy. Next, so in the second topic, I am going to present the principles behind this framework. Moving further, I'm going to split the framework in 4 main steps because it is constructed on 4 stages. And I am going to focus on its practical approach. After that, in the first section, I'm going to bring more clarity by offering you an example of how this framework can be applied into a real business problem. And after that, in the last part of this discussion, we are going to open the stage for all your questions and unclarities that may have been raised during our presentation. So, what we have observed while working with various clients is that organizations often face a couple of key questions. And it is not always easy to find the answer alone. So I'm just starting with some example of questions. For instance, how can I apply AI in my specific business problem? Or look, I have a couple of use cases, but I don't know what to choose first. I don't know how to prioritize them. Or which of these problems that I have right now here brings the most value with the minimum investment. Or supposing that you are a company that already explored a bit with the AI initiatives, you may have questions like, okay, I have this product which is applicable for this range of mini products or for this department, but I would like to scale it up to the entire company. So our structure approach for AI innovation is designed to address this question, and we aim on offering a practical framework that aligns with your business unique needs. Whether you are new to AI, as I have mentioned, or you are somewhere in the middle of the process, this approach is still useful because it aligns the strategic goals, long-term and short-term, with the practical implementation of concrete use cases. So by leveraging insights from working with clients across various industries, we have seen that this structured approach basically provides clarity, direction, confidence in your AI initiative. So if these challenges that I have just presented resonates with you, I assure that you are in the right session today. Moving further, I want to provide you with a high-level description. So in our work with other organizations, we have often seen that there is a big challenge for organizations to take the AI ambitions and to transform them into actionable results. So that's the reason why we have developed a structured 4-week program in which we are usually partnering with our clients for providing actionable insights. So how do we concretely work? We work together with our clients or partners, as we always like to call them, in activities like understanding what are your long-term goals, what are your short-term goals, what is your vision, what is your perspective for the business, and so on. On the other hand, we care a lot about the data. So one of the initial steps is assessing your data landscape and also the technological landscape. So all these are activities that we usually carry in the beginning. These activities actually are not creating an one size fits all. Why? Because even if you have, let's say, two companies that are in the same industry, you will remark that the challenges that each of them is facing are different. Why? Because they technically share the same objective. So let's say two banks or two retailers, but it doesn't mean that they are concretely facing the same challenges or that a project developed for one will exactly fit for the other one. Why? Because they have different data, they have different vision, they are using probably different technologies, they have different infrastructure, and so on. So there is no such thing like one strategy fits all. Also, from our perspective, something that is super important is to develop the AI strategy in a stakeholder-driven manner. Why? Because this ensures that the insights across the organization are captured. So engaging with key decision maker and identifying what are the AI opportunities, what should be prioritized, and so on, helps in creating a clear roadmap that culminates with an action plan for your AI initiatives. Um, Theoretically, the framework ends with this last formal step, developing the detailed project plan. But what we have often seen with our clients is that this step naturally evolves in a deeper partnership. So there are many ways to further collaborate, for instance, by executing the project or by offering support and maintenance or by supporting with scaling. So we like to consider that it is just the beginning of the journey. Super important is that the framework that I'm going to present today, it is not locking you in a rigid framework, but rather it is offering you the chance to actively participate and take informed decisions at each and every step. So this being said, I am going to present the 4 steps of the framework. So we have found that a structured approach is essential. Therefore, we have these 4 stages: initial assessment, opportunity identification, use case prioritization, and detailed project plan. And I am going to spend like a couple of seconds to briefly describe each of them. In the initial assessment, what is happening is to analyze the environment that you are having from business perspective, from data perspective, from technical perspective. In the opportunity identification, what is happening is that you should put together all the main stakeholders. Why? Because the end goal of this phase, this is a very collaborative phase, by the way. The end goal is to define the use cases that are suitable for your business. And I will describe in more details later, but the purpose of this phase is to make sure that you will have a clean path in AI adoption later, because if you involve more parties, and everybody is aware about the final goal, it is easy to adopt the AI strategy later. Okay, so at this step, you are having the use cases, but later on, you will realize that it is not possible to invest in all of them. Therefore, you need to create a ranking of the use cases. This is what is happening in the use case prioritization. It is creating a short list of the favorite use cases. And out of them, the most suitable use case will be taken, and you will start to develop a detailed project plan. Now, what is happening after developing the detailed project plan? Well, there can be 2 directions. Either you start directly with executing this project plan, or if you feel like you have, I don't know, sufficient members in the team and you can afford to start working on 2 projects in the same time, you can go back to the list, to the prioritized list of use cases, and you take the second one, create a detailed plan, and start with that one in parallel with the first one. Okay. So the initial assessment, this is the first phase of the framework. It starts with aligning the business objective. I have mentioned it many times before, but I cannot stress it enough. Why? Because the AI strategy cannot live alone. If the AI strategy is not aligned well with the long-term vision, most likely any of the initiatives will not show its full value, its full potential, or will not be adopted by sufficient members, and so on. So how is the strategic objective alignment achieved? What we have remarked is that the most efficient way is to have interviews with the stakeholders, because via conversation, people are telling what are their goals, what is their willing, and so on. After you have sufficient information from the stakeholders, you can move further and assess the data. This assessment of the data, it is pretty much done via the eyes of the persons that are actually using the data set, right? Because your data team is the one that knows the best what are the gaps in the data, what are the potential pitfalls, and so on. But nevertheless, for the company, it is super important to have a list of all data sets that you are having available, where you find them, whether there is a database or you can access them via APIs or directly from spreadsheets, and so on. Also, at this step, it would be important to know if your data is structured or unstructured, because depending on this, you can later propose one type of AI model or another type. Nevertheless, very important is to have the data accessible. It sounds easy, but it can be that, for instance, if you are relying on an external data vendor and they are providing via API and they have limitations of how many rows you can extract, it can be a bit tricky. And there is one last point related to the data that we really care about, which is if the data can be used or not for training a machine learning model. Because it's not always obvious that the clients agree to, actually not the clients, your customers agree to use their data for training the models. On the technology side, we care very much about having a list of the tools and a list of the tools that are used in each of the departments. This is a super important step because if you want to scale later, it would be important to know from the beginning where and how to scale. Because depending on this, you can choose the most suitable technology from the beginning when you start developing the models. In terms a bit joint between technology and data, it is the data storage management. For each of the data sources that you are having, it would be important to document where it is found, right? And it would be super important to understand if you are storing your data in a data lake house, in a warehouse, and so on. Because depending on the stage where you are, maybe you want to work also on your data strategy in joint collaboration with the AI strategy. Moving forward to the next stage of the framework, it is the opportunity identification. This is a highly collaborative phase. It involves a lot of creativity. How is it happening? So now that supposedly you are having information from your main stakeholders, you want to put them together. And the most efficient way to get consensus between people is to put them together, to help them listen to each other, right? So we consider that the best way is to host an ideation workshop in which the participants should come from diverse teams. Okay, obviously it is not possible to have absolutely all the company into one single workshop, right? But at least couple of representatives from different departments. What should happen in that workshop is that you should have a guided conversation, and basically everybody should have the chance to say a couple of ideas, no judgment. It can be good ideas, bad ideas, whatever. In that workshop, it is important to identify what are the business challenges. That's it. So it can be operational challenges, it can be something innovative, something that you really want. It can be in the, I don't know, research direction or anything that is important for each department. With all those ideas, what should be done is to synthesize them and identify what are the business challenges and actually group the ideas into some buckets because it may be from time to time that the ideas sound different, but they are solved with the same product, right? So grouping them, it's a good idea. After that, it comes a very important part, which is map the opportunities to AI capabilities. So you have defined your business challenges. You know very clearly what is the problem. You have found the root cause of the problem. Then you move towards the AI table and you try to identify what is the most suitable AI tool to solve a particular problem. And here it varies. It can be an in-house developed model or it can be an external solution. No limit on, on the creativity at this step. So I want to take a moment to offer an example about business problem and potential solution. So let's see that let's say that you are having plenty of invoices and you are pretty much doing them manually. It can be scan, transcribe, and so on. So one solution that can come into your mind immediately is to create an OCR-based system to automatically read from those invoices. And the expected goal, the expected outcome that that you can anticipate is that you will have a faster process and with less human errors if the tool works correctly. So we are under that assumption. However, by the end of this phase, you should have a set of tailored, actionable AI use cases aligned with your business goals. Good. So now you have a probably long list of use cases. What are you doing with all those? So not every idea can or should be implemented. This step with AI use case prioritization is trying to address exactly this challenge. What should we start with? So we start usually with defining the prioritization criteria. Depending on your long-term goals or on your immediate focuses, it may be more important to see, I don't know, revenue growth, or it may be more important to see cost savings and so on. So the prioritization criteria are very much linked to your business model and to your preferences. But generally, what we have seen is that the criteria tend to fall into these four categories. So business impact, feasibility, scalability, and return on investment. Having the criteria clearly set, you move forward, you score every use case against the chosen criteria, and you obtain a ranked list of use cases. Very important for us, but probably for each and every company, is to focus on those that are like quick wins. You have the data, you have the plan, you have all the resources in your hand. It is just about creating it with almost immediate results. So the quick wins are the one to start. But nevertheless, we are usually using this type of visual support. So we call it AI use case prioritization matrix. On the vertical, it is the impact of the use case, and on the horizontal, it is the complexity. And we usually split the use cases in 4 quadrants: must, should, could, and will not. For instance, in the must quadrant, you can expect to find the use cases that are super time sensitive, very urgent, very important to be done. Here are the use cases where the resources are already available. So you have the data is in good condition, not much work on that front. And very important, these use cases are directly supporting your core business objectives. Moving to the right, we have the should use cases. These use cases are supporting the secondary goals. The data is in good state, the technology is in good state with, okay, maybe minor improvements. They have high impact, right? But they are not as urgent and they are slightly more complex due to various reasons, including the data and technology stack. Then we have the could. Well, these use cases don't have big impact. They are not also very complex, but usually for the use cases in the could section, the data is not there or is not in good state. So usually for this category of use cases, you need the support of external data or creation of synthetic data. And we have the fourth category, which is will not. These use cases are not there to be done. Why? Because they are misaligned with your business. They sounded at a point as a good idea, but later when you assess them objectively, you figure out that it is not a good idea to invest into these cases. So they are not urgent, they are not clearly defined, they don't align with the company strategy, and so on. Okay, and we move towards the detailed project plan. From our perspective, a good detailed project plan should not answer only to the what question, but should also address how, who, and when. So the first part with what, it is answered by clearly defining the goals of the use case. But moving further, you want to also answer the how. The how is answered by defining the approach. So defining the steps, defining the technologies that you are going to use, and so on. Now, something that we have observed in various projects is that it is hard to say from the beginning what algorithms will be used. So specifically, regression with these parameters, blah, blah. This is super hard to be predicted from the beginning. But what should be included from the beginning is the area of algorithms or the area of machine learning that you are going to use, just to limit a bit your search later in the stage when you move towards the implementation. Also, from the beginning, you should identify the required resources. And here we are talking about data, we are talking about technology, but we are very importantly talking about people as well. So having the right people in your team in the project, it is very important and should be something that you have in mind from the beginning, because highly skilled people are not super easy to find anywhere in this world. Okay, so you have the right resources, you have the goals, you have the approach, you have executed in your mind the project. But how do you know that you have a successful project? Well, from the beginning, you should set some success criteria. And depending on what is pressing you more in that moment, the success criteria may vary. So it can be in terms of accuracy, it can be in terms of efficiency, it can be in the terms of cost reduction, and so on. So the criteria vary, but they should be, apologize, from the beginning set in your mind. Nevertheless, no project can be extended for an unlimited time, especially in the AI domain, right? So you should define the timeline and the milestones. I want to execute this project in, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, whatever you can afford uh, in terms of waiting time. And I want to complete the data preparation by, I don't know, 10 of January or something like that. So the goals, the milestones, the timelines should be always in the head of the person that is executing the project.
Yeah.
Overall, the purpose of this plan is to set the realistic expectations and to build confidence in your AI initiative in general.
Yeah.
Sorry, Domin,
Thank
did you
you.
want to?
Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for this and for this theoretical background. However, I would be very curious to see a real life use case with possible use cases. And also, please note that we kind of have 2, 3, 4 minutes, not more than this, because we are already close to 30. And
Yeah.
afterwards, we will have to take the questions from the participants. There are already quite a few questions, so I'm looking forward to
Okay, super.
looking
Happy
forward
to
to see.
proceed. Happy to
Yeah.
see them also. So regarding the concrete example, I have promised it from the beginning. So um, let's suppose that we are talking about a subscription-based business that is having a problem with high customer churn. For context, just to have some numbers in mind, let's say that the company is losing 15% of its customers annually. We all can imagine what is happening in this situation. So loss of revenue, big costs to acquire new clients, and so on. Also, let's suppose that this company is just in the beginning of their AI journey. So they have identified the problem, but they don't know much about why they are using those customers. So what can be done? Multiple things. So for instance, this problem, as simple as it sounds, can be approached from multiple perspectives. For instance, you can run some sentiment analysis for understanding what are the factors that are making your customers leave. This type of use case will fall in the NLP area. Or, on the other hand, you can decide to offer personalized retention offers. This type of initiative would fall in the recommendation system and would basically mean that your customers receive automatic offers. But how do you know to which customers you want to trigger these offers? Well, you have to run a churn prediction model in order to see what are the customers that are more likely to cancel their subscription. By the way, this type of a model is falling in the predictive analytics side. Another thing that you can try is to better understand your customers. So to run a clustering algorithm in order to visualize what are the main reasons for which your customers are going away. And nevertheless, one super popular thing in the last year is to create chatbots. So this is falling under the Gen AI area. and basically would enable your customers to interact with various information on a continuous basis. So there are many things that can be done. And the purpose of this example is to show that AI isn't just a tool, it is a strategic enabler for solving real business challenges. So each solution addresses the churn from a different perspective. And I want to show you something more, and I promise this is the last slide from my side. So I want to discuss a bit about what are the possible deliverables. We consider that each phase of a project should be finalized with some deliverable. So we have in the framework 4 phases, therefore we have 4 deliverables, right? So the first phase, we consider that should be finalized with an initial assessment report, capturing all the findings that you have discovered via interviews. The second phase should be finalized with a workshop report. This should also contain the AI use cases, at least in an incipient form, not fully developed. After that, we should provide in the third phase on prioritization of the use cases. So on ranked list, or if you prefer it visually, the use case prioritization matrix. And last, but probably one of the most important outcomes is the detailed project plan. Optionally, if the choice is to implement the selected use case, then the journey can be continued with the project execution.
Thank you, Adriana. Thank you. Can you please go to the next slide? Because as we said,
Yes.
we have a
Yes.
surprise. So first of all, thank you for taking the time to present us this approach to discovering AI use cases. As I said, we have a surprise. We offer 3 free AI innovation workshops of 2 days to the participants and the ones that left feedback. So please do leave us feedback from the link that my colleagues will send you. And also, you can still register by 15th of December to receive a copy of this webinar and the opportunity to receive this free workshop. And as I said, we'll go towards the questions that the participants asked. There are quite a few, so we'll try to respond both of us. So the first one, how can organizations assess their readiness to adopt AI effectively, and if there's a comprehensive framework available to evaluate key decisions such as digital maturity, data infrastructure, workforce capabilities, and ethical governance. So how could you respond to this in 30 seconds?
In 30 seconds. Okay, that's tough. So in order to assess your AI maturity, I think the first phase of the framework that I have presented covers exactly this part. So it is an assessment on both data and technology, and like additionally, it is aligning with the business perspective. So in terms of data, it depends. I think that the use cases should be constructed based on the data that you already have. This is why we have created the framework. Dumi, I think the question was a bit longer and I
Yes.
forgot the
Also,
second part. Yeah.
digital maturity, so data infrastructure. So you kind of address that with the data availability. So you don't have the data, you don't have use cases. That's clear. You
No.
cannot start without the data. Workforce capabilities and ethical governance, which obviously you have to take into consideration.
Yes, it is in the data readiness assessment for the AI strategy.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you. I have another one, but I think I'd like to respond to this one. How do you
Okay.
assess the success of a pilot AI project and deciding on scaling it? And I think we responded to this in the presentation already, because we set up some expectations in the beginning and then we measured them after after the POC is implemented. And we have seen concrete use cases. For instance, a situation with one of our customers where a complex document processing that was previously done by persons in a time of 2 hours per document. We used generative AI to process those documents. And based on the results of the Gen AI processing, we reduced the time that a person would take to review that to 30 minutes. So this is a very, very easy to quantify return of investments, because for each paper document that had to be reviewed, we would have had 1 hour and a half. So basically, if you are able to put the expected KPIs at the beginning and also make sure that these KPI are truly smart, and I'm thinking about measurable, then you will be able in the end to see clearly whether the ROI is there or not. That's what it happened to us in the past. Another one, what are the usual causes for failure of adopting AI?
Yeah. So there are many. There are many. But I think the main cause for AI failure is the data. So if your data is not ready for AI adoption, for AI use cases, then probably there will be no use case. Nevertheless, another important point is to align cross teams and to make sure that the use cases are serving more departments. So if it is just serving one of them, probably there will be adoption only within that department. So just to shortly answer, I would say that the main contribution stands in kind of 4 or 5 pillars, like for instance, pure problem definition, data challenge, lack of alignment within the teams, and probably the technology side also plays a crucial role.
Yeah.
Because if the tech is not ready, then your AI project will remain a limited usage POC or pilot.
Thank you, Adriana. We will take the last question. There are more questions, so we will provide the answers offline afterwards. But I would like to take one last question coming from a participant. How can you ensure that you will deliver results in 4 weeks?
Right. So we ensure that we deliver results in 4 weeks because actually in each week we deliver something, right? The end goal, of course, is to have a clear vision on your company, on what can be done and so on. But in each and every week you have one deliverable. If you remember my previous slide, yeah, the expected outcomes is, so in the first week, it is the assessment on your data. Of course, it is not an extensive assessment. It is through the eyes of your data team. In the second week, you have the development of the AI use cases. In the third week, it is the prioritization. So in each and every week, you receive something. And the last step is to design the plan of execution for your favorite use case.
Yeah. So basically, in the end, you will have the gaps. So
Yeah.
you will know what your gaps are. You can start or you cannot. You will have a detailed list of use cases that you know whether they are important or not for you, and whether they are feasible or not for you. And then you will also have a way on how to start with the most important thing that you could resolve with AI. Yeah. Thank you, Adriana, and thank you everyone for the participation. Please don't forget to complete the feedback. My colleague will contact you some of you for those 3 free AI innovation funnel workshops, and we will respond to you offline. Stay tuned because we will provide the materials from today online, and we will return with video and other materials. Thank you and wish you a pleasant evening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.